Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here in New Vienna, Iowa, and it is an absolutely fantastic day. It is like mid 70s out. It is a little bit windy, but it's just absolutely balmy out. We went hiking in Big Spring, Guttenberg, Iowa, with the kids today, and we did a lot of like scrambling over rocks. It's not really a hiking trail. You hike the trail for like 5 minutes, and then there's just a bunch of rocks. You kind of like keep climbing up through the rocks, and the girls love it. Even my 4-year-old really gets into it. Scares my wife quite a bit to see the 4-year-olds like scrambling over rocks, but they had such a good time, and we just really enjoyed some outside time today. I think the girls are still outside right now. And then when we got back, Grandma and Grandpa took down the Halloween decorations so that way they could start putting up Christmas decorations. And that's just the way that I like it, because I love Christmas season. I don't care if it's early. I like Thanksgiving to be, I've said this many times before. Thanksgiving is like a very nice stop along the way to Christmas. And so I really enjoy that. Today is Sunday, November 8th, 2020. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. Let's see who's here. Before I get to who's here, let's say hi to everyone that's listening to this on the podcast and everyone that's watching this after the fact. Welcome, everybody. And as Dunbar says, hey, Kofuzi and everyone, proud to be part of this live stream after today's video. You are so much more than a dude that goes running, Mike. Thank you. Thank you. And that means a lot. I appreciate the support. Scotty B, thank you very much. Yeah, today's video was a tough one for me to make. I've been trying to make it for I really wish that I could have said something I could have gotten it together before the election happened, or better yet, like a month before the election happened. But I've been having a hard time getting the words together on it. And so the first half of it was written like a month ago, and then the rest of it, I just couldn't get it together. And even last night I had a hard time sleeping because I definitely wanted to get it out by today. And I don't know that it's perfect, but I didn't want to let perfect get in the way of being good or okay even. So I hope that there's lots of things that I was worried about in it. I'm worried that it might seem like I'm too much of an apologist, that I'm not harsh enough against certain elements. But I think the gist of it came across, and I feel like you guys are getting it. So I feel good about that, and thank you so much for listening to me. Christian says, well said, and 100% that Confederate flag on the porch was an amazing detail. Yeah, that flag, I think though, that house, we walk by it. Whenever we go on our family walks, we walk by it. We actually pass it twice every time we go for our family walks. And it is toned down quite a bit. There used to be multiple Confederate flags. Now there's just the one. There's also a really, really big Trump flag on that house too. And it's next to that house that has the really pretty American flag in front of it. And so the juxtaposition there makes it all the much sweeter for me, but, or ironic or sad or what, I'm not really sure how to put it. And I was very hesitant to put that one in the video because I don't want to call anybody out, because this is a small town. If anyone's familiar with that town, they know who that person is, and I'm not trying to put anybody on blast, but it is the only Confederate flag that I've seen in the neighborhood, I think. But yeah, but it is neither the only or even the largest Trump flag that I've seen in the neighborhood. So there's it tells me that there are a lot of people who I don't think are just raving lunatics. I think these are reasonable people who have concerns that to them are very reasonable and that they're passionate about. And I don't understand it. And I think I need to be able to understand it. And so that's part of what I'm trying to do, is understand it. I think I'm starting to understand it, but it's hard to try and gain that understanding when I'm, as they say, holed up in my basement. Not that this is a basement, I'm on the second floor, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So Martha says, another agreement. I knew there would be a couple of critics, but you have my respect. Thank you, Martha. Yeah, Frank Lahooyer says, I get so frustrated at the asymmetry between the side of tolerance and intolerance. The people who are intolerant will say, I thought you were supposed to be respectful and listen to my thoughts. Yeah, that is something that we get. My wife and I talk about that a lot. But that's just, I don't really go to church anymore, but the closest thing I could say to that is just we need to turn more cheeks. And yeah, it stinks, but that's the grown-up thing to do. It's very frustrating, and I understand your frustration, Frank. But that's what we do. That's all we can do. Well, that's not all we can do, but that's the least that we should be doing. And I know you are, Frank. Louis Becerra says, "Yo, what's going on?" David Prabo says, "Good day, all." What's going on here? Ben Weiss says, "Hi from London." What's going on, Ben? Arnold Alanis says, "Ran a 1:10:13 PR in the 10-mile race Saturday. That is fantastic. What a great time." There we go. Cowbell for that. Progressively closed the last 3 miles, and the last mile was the fastest of the entire race. I love it when a plan comes together. Oh, yes. What a great A-team reference as well. Great job. 1:10:13. Nice. Seal says, "Hi, Dad." What's going on? You know what's funny is the Nike team that I ran with last year. I think that I was the oldest one there by the coach and I are almost the exact same age. We have almost the exact same birthday. So her birthday's coming up. But other than that, I was like 10, if not almost 20 years older than everyone in the group. And so everyone definitely called me the dad of the group. And so it was pretty funny. I get that a lot. Nibsy says, "Last day of the weekend." So sad. It's unfortunate, but hopefully the weather is as nice for you where you are as it is here, because it's a great way to close out the weekend here. Chris Yao says, "Complete Hurricane Eta." Is that how people have been saying Eta? Complete Hurricane Eta washout here for the next 4 days, probably. That's a bummer. I think we are going to get some rain tomorrow, but not until the afternoon. So I should be okay for my run tomorrow. And then I think I have like one more like nice weather run left, and then I think we're hitting into winter, because I think it's going to rain, maybe snow, and then I think it just goes, all downhill from there. Let's see, Jody's here. Says, "Good day, everyone. Good to see you." Christian Schobinger says, "Hi, everyone. Very cool. Very cool. Good to see you." Let's see. What else we got? Cameron McBride said, "I shared today's video with my family, and they really appreciate it." Oh, thanks, Cameron. And I'm glad that you were able to share that with your family. That's amazing. Thank you. I'm very flattered. My favorite is when people watch my videos like together. I don't know why I like that so much, but I do. I get it from a lot of like couples who run, and I just think that's super, super cool. I don't know why, but I'd really enjoy that. And that you share it with your family, I think that means a lot to me. Thank you. Nicole Max says, "I appreciate how thoughtful you are about everything you put out there." Nicole. Well, thank you, Nicole. Thank you very much. David Lidson says, "What camera do you use for your videos, and what editing software do you use to ensure no watermarks go onto your videos?" I use Final Cut Pro to edit, and I use 2 different cameras primarily. I use a GoPro Hero 9 for the most part. That's my favorite. It's just the image quality is fantastic. Audio is great if I need the audio, and it's very easy to both shoot and edit with. I also use a 360 camera, and that was from today's video. That takes a little bit more work because you got to process it in the Insta Studio app on like desktop or on the phone. I usually use the desktop. And so that's a big like additional step, but then it from there goes into Final Cut Pro. So I've been using that. GJ is here. Dan King is here. Awesome. Ed Butt said, "The Istanbul Marathon top 3 ladies all wore Adidas Adizero Adios Pro." Ooh. Well, number 1, I didn't know that there was an Istanbul Marathon. Number 2, I didn't know that I'm assuming it was today. And that's cool. I didn't know that they all wore the Adizero Adios Pro. And I mean, it really makes me want to try them. I do really want to try those Adios Pro. I just don't know if I'm ever going to get them. Ben Y said, "PR'd on this popular Monster Hill Strava segment. I've been working on attacking 10th place in all-time table. Need to get higher up." All right. Well done, Ben. I love the new like running goals that we're all setting for ourselves and the adventures. I didn't run this morning because I ended up working on that video, and it just took a lot longer than I was expecting. And then by the time I was done, like everyone was up. And so at that point, it's too late for me to go out for a run. Plus, it was supposed to be a rest day anyway. And my mother-in-law was like, hey, so you didn't go for a run today? I don't know if she thought I was like sick or something. She's like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to be a rest day. I've got like a time, I kind of have a race next week. She's like, a race? And I was like, not like a rail race. But like, I'm just doing something myself. And she's like a virtual race? I'm like, no, I'm just kind of doing a 10K. So, yeah. So like everyone's got like their things. I mean, some people are racing in real life. And I saw, I think it was Emily Enfield ran today, raced somewhere today. She's been popping up in my Instagram feed a lot lately. And someone else was running a Manchester marathon somewhere. I don't know if that was I don't think that was Manchester. It certainly wasn't England. So it had to have been somewhere stateside. So I don't know where that one was. I don't know if that's the same event, but I saw a bunch of like races in my feed today too. So I was like, oh, people are racing. But I know a lot of people are doing like their own thing, trying to get those Strava segments. It's a lot of fun. All right. Lance Volker says, it's been a while since I saw a live stream. Are you ever going back to Chicago? Yes. My wife and I are starting to make some plans. But I mean, we're still laying low. The positivity rate is still pretty high over there. And even like Chicago public schools, they were starting to make moves along the pathway to reopening back up. But they made a decision Friday night to roll back on that. They did go and install like massive new HEPA filtration systems in all the schools. The teachers union didn't think that was good enough, given the numbers, and a lot of the parents, I think, were not all that enthused about it either. And so they rolled back, and I think the mayor put it, shut the door on it too. She was like, nope, you're not doing that. So schools are still virtual, so we're going to keep doing it from here. Scotty B says, yesterday's long run, 15 miles in the Mango next percent. Awesome. They are warming up. Then I'll shelf them for the winter. Fun to run around town and back. Yeah, the next percent are fun to run in. That was a good shoot. I haven't run in mine in a while. I gave all mine to Seth. And I think I donated one, and then I think I gave one or two pair, maybe one pair to Seth. Yeah, but I haven't run in one in a while. But the mango colors, I don't know why I really enjoy the mango colors. Stevie76 says, dedicate next Trivia Tuesday to Alex Trebek. That's a great idea, Stevie. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard of that news today, but my wife told me about it, and I was like, oh, what? I mean, I knew he was sick, but and he's been like fighting it. Like he's had a couple of instances where he's been better and then not better. But it was sad to hear that news today. And then my wife and I were talking that like it has not been 2020 very clearly has not been a good year for the world. But there's been a lot of losses this year. Mr. Bigglesworth says, are you in the Nike running app? Yeah, I am. I think I'm under Kofuzi in the Nike running app. I don't go in there ever anymore, but my Polar Watch pushes to the Nike running app. So I just leave that on. All right. Martha says, didn't know about Alex Trebek. Oh, sorry to be the one to break it. But you've been recording and watching all the recent Jeopardies. What a trooper and mensch. Yeah. I mean, he was a pretty cool dude. All right. Yeah, Dr. Funk, 1216, pancreatic cancer is rough. Yeah. Ricardo Katagiri says, I just took 2 weeks off. Still, I'm finding it hard to find the strength to get back running. Then you might need more time, Ricardo. I would say don't push it. Or, maybe it's time to find something else that you can mix in with the running or a different kind of running. Maybe you can find a trail if you normally run roads. I know that makes it a little bit harder and that may exacerbate things, but maybe find something different or, set the bar a little bit lower. Don't worry so much about having a ton of mileage. Just get out there. Maybe you need to just like kind of get unstuck from the rut a little bit. Just get a little bit of movement, build some momentum, and then you'll get back into it. See, Dan King says, "Are you on Strava?" Yes, I think I'm under as Michael Coe on Strava, like my regular name. The link for my Strava account is in the description of all my videos, and I think it should be by default in the description of this video. If it's not, just go to a regular video, and it'll be in there. Corey Villancourt. It's good to see you again, Corey. Says, possibly review the Ultra Escalante Racer. Interested to see what you think of a zero drop racer. I don't know. I'm not sure that I will, just because if I'm gonna review another Ultra, and I do plan on it in the rest of the year, I think that I will probably run in something different, very different than what I've seen so far. Because I've run in the Escalante, the regular Escalante 2.0, the Ultra Superior 4.5, and so I want to do something else, something that has a lot more cushion to it. And the Racer, I think it's the main. I mean, there's a different upper, and then I think the Ultra Escalante is like a 20 millimeter, 24 millimeter stack height shoe, and the Racer is like a 14, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not, I know that will make a big difference, but I'm not sure it'll be. If I'm going to do a third Ultra, I think it needs to be something different. But as far as like a zero drop racer, I raced the Houston Marathon in the Carbon Rocket, which was a 1 millimeter drop shoe. And that one, I just think that shoe is not soft enough for me to be able to run an entire marathon in it. But the fact that it was a 1 millimeter drop shoe, I don't think played a big factor in how well I did or didn't, or how well I didn't do on that race. So yeah, the drop didn't really kind of like affect me too much. And Kiefer says the 4.5 plus is Undercover Goat. Plush, he means, is the Undercover Goat. Maybe that's the one. Tony Yu says, where and when can we buy the non-elite gear to support what you do? If you guys want to, it's in the Teespring shelf, like the merch shelf underneath all the videos. So you can get there. And I think that like by default, like YouTube, I don't know if it shows. I'm not exactly sure how it shows. I think it shows up if you scroll down on the phone. It should be in between. It should be like right below the comments, right? There's like that box you can open up the comments, and I think it's right there. Or if you're watching it like on desktop, it should be right below the video. But if you click on that, that'll take you to like one of the products, and then there's like 9 or 10 things in there that you can pick from. So that's where that is. All right. David Litson, your favorite running clothes for any type of run? I think it just really depends on the season. Right now in the fall, winter, I generally like to run in like tights and shorts if it's warm enough for that. And then and as far as like the tights go, the tights that are like go under the shorts, I really like TCA Fit and DR Skin, like Dry Skin. They're pretty cheap. They're available on Amazon. I think both of those companies sell tights in like a multi-pack. So those are pretty nice and pretty cheap. And then, but when we get to winter, then my favorite brand is probably Kraft, just because the stuff that they make really great for cold weather running. All right. Stevie76 says, started listening to the Dutch House audiobook. Tom Hanks does a great job narrating. I didn't know Tom Hanks narrated audiobooks. That sounds fantastic. But are you sure it's Tom Hanks? Because I know that Tom Hanks has a brother. And his brother does a lot of voiceover work for Tom Hanks. So, and my understanding is, like, for example, all like the Toy Story video games, those are all Tom Hanks' brother. Isn't that weird? That's very funny. I think it's very funny. Preston Bucher says, Dr. Funk, I like my Solomon S Labs. I think, was it Dr. Funk? Someone asked a question if I've ever run in Solomon before. I run in the Predict RA, which is supposed to be the shoe that was like anatomically correct and have like the way that the outsole rubber was like, it was like chopped up so that way it bent and moved with your foot. And I just thought it was really mediocre. I didn't really like it. The toe box was kind of, uh-oh, what happened here? I lost the camera again? What's going on with the camera? The camera's fine. What's going on here? Sorry, guys. This happened the other day. Where's my camera? My camera's gone. What? I don't know what's happening, guys. The browser lost connection to the camera, it says. Let me see if I can figure this out. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, guys. Wait, here we go. No, it's still not liking it. All right. I think for the rest of today, we're just gonna go with we'll go with just audio for today. Sorry, guys. Wait, is that it? There we go. Sorry. I don't know what's going on with that. You know what it is? It's the alternate universe trying to censor us again. That's what it is. Okay. So the Solomons. Oh, there's another Solomon I ran. I ran the Solomon Predictor, right? And I thought that all like the anatomically correct stuff, I didn't think that made a big difference. It didn't feel all that special. And then I also thought the toe box was really boxy and not that comfortable. And then I ran in the Solomon, was it Sense Ride 3? And I just felt like that was much more of a trail shoe than I needed. I don't think that there's anything around here that I run on that really needs a shoe that like rugged. And so it just felt really stiff for me, and I didn't need it to be that stiff. So I did a lot of hiking in that shoe, and it was great. So, yeah. But I mean, I'd like to like Solomon shoes. I just never works never works out for me. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Someone was saying that like this was some Russian hacking going on. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Some of the, what's been weird is so like the content has gotten political, which I generally don't. I do reluctantly, but I also feel like it's something. I think it's a natural place for it to go. I mean, we're in the middle of I guess we're still in the middle of an election. And so like we saw it yesterday in the live stream that there's just people that I'm not sure if they're actually people or not. And when I say it out loud like that, I feel like I'm like diving into conspiracy theory territory. So it's just like, I'm not really sure what to make of it. And a lot of times it's, like there's today, for example, there was a comment where like someone responded to someone else's comment, and it was like the original commenter mentioned something about like it's a time for reflection and growth, and then the person that responded is an account that has one subscriber and one video posted 2 years ago. It looks to me a lot like maybe a derelicted account that has been taken over. And then the comment was like, this is why like the US is so obese. And it was like using the word grow in a way that the original commenter wasn't using the word grow. And I'm like, there's something wrong with this AI. Like, that's not how we were talking about the word grow. And this has nothing to do with obesity. And I don't really understand the comment. And so it's really weird to think that like, for what reason would someone leverage technology to just agitate people? I mean, I guess I understand the reason, but like on a running YouTube channel, like that just seems like you're getting really specific there. I don't know. So maybe it is Russian hacking. Maybe it is a bot. Maybe it's just grumpy people out there looking to stir pots. So I don't know. All right. Yeah. Scotty B says regarding the latest The Drop podcast. I haven't listened to one of those podcasts yet. I keep meaning to. It's on my list, but I don't know. I feel like lately I've given myself a pretty long reading list, or listening list. So I guess I'm going to have to do more running. I mean, this 10K training program will be over like next weekend. So, I mean, I guess it'll be time to like, get out there and get some more miles in, which will give me more time to listen to more things. Yeah. On the Drop podcast, Scotty B says, is nutrition and timing of nutrition. I left it thinking I needed more carbs. Folks, how do you figure out how much carbs you need by weight for your weekly mileage? I don't think of it on and I probably should. And diet is one area that I definitely don't think enough about. But I usually only worry about carbs during a run. I don't think about it too much after a run. I usually kind of it's the one area or part of my running where I'm very much like I'll just go by feel. If I'm feeling hungrier, I'll eat more. If I'm craving something, I'll give my body that. It's very unlike me, but that's kind of how I go about it. I don't figure how many carbs I need per week. Daniel M says, this is reminiscent of the book Most Human, the Turing Test, yada, yada. Yeah. 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 Cozy Peasy says, the GPT-2 bot, watch out for GTP3. I'm not aware of any of those. So, Ricardo Kataguri says, though, when we talked about this, was it yesterday? Today I watched Social Dilemma. I liked it. What's your opinion? I still haven't seen it yet. But I've heard, basically everyone that I listen to in terms of podcast world has watched it and has had opinion on it. So I have a kind of an idea of what it's about and what its general message is. I have been telling people or suggesting to people that they should delete Facebook. I think that will help a lot of people out if they just get rid of it. You can still keep in touch with all the people. You've got a phone in your pocket. You can keep in touch with as many people as you want still. But, that's kind of what I have been thinking. But, Christian Grundyke says, shoes of choice for the 10K time trial. Good question. Right now, it is down to the Endorphin Pro or the Alpha Fly. So those are the two that I'm thinking about for it. That threshold workout day, I really enjoyed the Endorphin Pro. I feel like running at a faster speed than marathon pace is what I need to kind of like activate that shoe, so to speak, and but I feel like also the Alpha Fly is pretty amazing. So it's in the hunt. I think a longer shot would be the TC, the RC Elite, so that's another one that I'm thinking about as well. And it should be arriving tomorrow. The Rocket X. It should be here. So I'll take that for a test ride maybe Tuesday. On my Tuesday workout. But I'm kind of in a taper week, so I'm not sure how much of the workout it's going to be. But so those, I guess, are the four that are in the hunt for me right now. All right. All right. James Barrera, recommendations for running socks, especially for winter. For winter, Stance socks right now are my favorite brand of like the running specialty socks. My favorite like economy buy would be the Roadrunner Sports. You get it like there's like a 3-pack you can get. I think that those are really nice and kind of like help get you through the week. I usually use them like on my easy runs, but for like my harder workouts, that's when I'll like that's when I'll save like the Stance socks for. But for the winter, I also especially like Darn Tough. They're based in Vermont. The socks are made in the U.S. and they're very warm. They make ones also for skiers, and I like to run in those when it gets really cold in the winter, because then it's a sock that's made for athletic activity, but it comes all the way up to basically the knee, and I just like to have that other extra layer. So those are some brands that I like. Jay Mendez Jr. goal for the 10K. I think that like the B goal is like 42, I think I could hit 42. The A goal would be like something in the 41s, and then the reach goal is sub 40. So maybe like 40, 41, 42. So we'll see where it goes. I'm looking at like because I'm doing a stride training program, and the race predictor for that gives me has me running at basically what is at critical power, or like about threshold level, which I feel like shouldn't it be like a couple notches above threshold level, but has me running at about threshold level and coming in estimated at about like 41 and change, or no, 40.53 is what it's estimating for me right now. And so far, when I did the 5K time trial, when I did the 8K time trial, it always overestimated me on time. So I'm not sure where I'm going to end up. But I'm thinking somewhere around 41, I'll be very happy. I'll be disappointed if it's higher than 42.30. So that's kind of where I'm at. Leona Wong says, whenever you say activate, I think glutes. You know what, Leona? I think that too. Cameron says, I saw a fellow wearing those EK Alpha Flies this morning, and it took actual conscious effort for me not to chase him down and ask him about his shoes. That's funny. Ed Butt says, the Rocket X is superb, but change the laces to white. Okay. Well, I don't have them yet, so I didn't know that they came with two different laces. Yesterday I saw it was someone who's new to the NAZ Elite team, but she put on her reels, and you guys know I've been diving into the reels. I love reels. I don't know why I shouldn't, but I do. And I watched so many reels yesterday. I like that after a while, Instagram was like, let's give him some basketball videos, because maybe he'll watch those too. Because I was just watching everything, not everything. There's a lot of like beauty reels that I'm just like, I don't know why Instagram is giving me this, so I just keep scrolling by. But it started giving me some basketball videos too, and I'm like, oh, these are good basketball videos, but that's not what I come to Instagram for. But one of the videos that one of the new NAZ Elite athletes posted was, I don't know what they were running, but it was like Kellen Taylor, Steffi Bruce, and then I think it was Ben Bruce was leading the group, maybe, and then two other runners, and she was one of the other two, I think. And I think they all had their Rocket X on, and I was like, that looks pretty amazing, because they were moving, and it was a pretty cool video. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that Rocket X soon. Someday soon, maybe I'll get to know what you guys experience. Let's see. Key verification talking about Balegas or the bee's knees. I have a pair of Balegas, and every time I get them, I keep thinking, I keep in my mind, Balegas and like Stance are like interchangeable, right? From like a market position standpoint. But every time I like have the socks in my hands, I feel like these Balegas feel like the Roadrunner sports socks. They're decent running socks, but they don't feel like premium to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm not getting the right one, but I don't know. Yeah. Oh, that running guy says, so we're both doing 10K time trials on the same day. You'll smash it. I'm hoping for a 37:30 or 45. All right. Sweet. Good luck. Yeah. Jeff Elliott says the NAZ Elite people are pretty good at social media stuff. I like the engagement. Yeah, I think, and a lot of that is from Ben Rosario, the coach. And he's been interviewed on it a lot, and he's specifically made that a very big part of what it like takes to be on the team is that you have to participate in that, which I think it makes a lot of sense, especially for distance runners, marathoners who don't race all the time. You know, it's one thing if you're like a long jumper. I mean, not that like long jumpers are competing every week and then, you know, getting all that publicity, but the opportunities for competition are fewer. And so you got to find ways to be in front of people. I think I mean, it's so evident that it's like hard to think that it's genius, but when he started this idea, it was not super evident. And a lot of people weren't doing it. A lot of people still aren't doing it. So yeah, I definitely also enjoy the engagement. Jody says, do you regularly review the goals you set at the beginning of the year? If not, how do you know you're on track to achieve them? If you do, how are you doing it? I don't know if I regularly review the goals that I set. But you know, and in fact, right now, I don't know what the goals that I set were. You know, the last few years, it's always to run 2,000 and whatever year it is, that many miles or more. And I think I'm at like 25 or 2,600 miles on the year, so I think I'm good on that. And then, other than that, I think I still put breaking 3 on that list, and I'm not going to hit that this year. And then I might have I forget what else my other goals were. But, you know, in my defense, it's 2020. So I think that kind of, a lot's changed since the beginning of the year. So there's that. But the way that I approach, and most of my running goals, like the goals that I set for like 2020 weren't all like time goals. I do think that one of the time goals was a 40-minute 10K, if I'm not mistaken. But the way that I go about making sure that I achieve those is like, you know, mapping out your A races and your B races and things like that. And so that's the way that I think about how am I going to achieve those goals is, you know, setting yourself up for races or training plans that are going to align with that. And then that just sets the calendar for you. And then whether you hit the goal or not is kind of like nice or secondary to like, did you go through the process? You know, so that's the way I approach it. All right. Dr. Funk says Features ultralight socks is where it's at. I don't think I've ever tried Features. Mr. Bigglesworth says, what running apps do you recommend that's like Nike in the way that there is a coach motivating you? I guess right now I'm kind of advocating Stride because I do like the Stride training program. I mean, I guess we'll see. Ask me again, like in a week, once I do the 10K time trial. But I don't think I've ever done a guided run on Nike Run Club. Like I know, like on the watch, for example, you swipe a certain direction, and then you could get like the guided runs that are like 30 minutes or 50 minutes or whatever. I don't think I've ever done it, which is a shame, and I feel bad about it because I actually know some of the people who have done some of the guided runs, and I feel like I should have really supported them better and listened to those, but I haven't. I just never like appealed to me. The way that I kind of handle like that motivation part is by picking the training plan and kind of having something to follow and to go along with. And so that's kind of how I keep the motivation. Within the run itself, if I need like motivation to complete the workout, that's where I rely on music. So that's kind of how I go about it. Let's see. Where did that one go? About Stride. Footpod. Oh, Pontius Pilot. Honestly, picked up a Stride footpod because of Yuko. Oh, awesome. Very cool. You know who else just picked up a footpod I saw today? Ben Parks, which is weird because I thought he already had one. But especially since he seems to do a lot of cycling. And I feel like, you know, people that spend a lot of time in the cycling world are very attuned to the concept of power. So I'm really surprised that he hadn't had one already, but I think he just got one as well. So in terms of people new to Stride, you're in good company. So yeah. All right. Daniel M says, I think one of us needs to start a podcast that just guides you through training runs and workouts. I don't know that I'll listen to it because, again, I'm not a big fan of like listening to like having like a guided workout in my ear. I don't know why. I'm just worried that like, it's going to be like, and now you're running fast. And I'll be like, oh, no, I had to stop because a dog was chasing me and I had to like return it home. Or, I'm just worried that it's going to get out of sync and then I'm going to be all like discombobulated. I think that's part of what it is. I don't know. But I know a lot of people love those. I know like Elliot Kipchoge did one. I didn't listen to that one either. But basically everyone I know listened to that one. So yeah, I think there's a space for that. Lawn Creeps says, or LON Creeps says, 1080 versus Bondi 7. How do I choose which one for my new long, easy run shoe? Here's how I pick it. If you want a traditional max cushion shoe, just like something super soft and spongy, might be a little bit heavy, might be slowing you down a little bit, go with the Bondi 7. If you just want like max protection on like impact on the knees, impact on your feet, that's the one to pick. The 1080 is kind of like a new school of max cushion shoes where you got a lot of stack height, a lot of protection in terms of like absorbing road miles, but it's a bouncier material. And so you're not getting as much of a speed penalty. It doesn't feel as like pillowy soft, but it's still got plenty of stack height and it still has a little bit of spring to it. So that's where I would go with that. The other way that I look at those two is I feel like the 1080 and that like subset of like bouncier, speedier max cushion shoes also really work. And I don't know anything about some of your stats, Lon, but for like taller or heavier runners too. And that works really well as more of like a daily trainer shoe. And so if you fall into that category and you still want something that is just like definitely still max cushion, then maybe another reason why you would stick with the Bondi. But that's just kind of how I see those two different shoes. So I'm not sure which of those things are really going to tip the scale for you, but hopefully that helps you make a decision. All right. Dr. Funk says he's been using the stride zones to measure effort instead of perceived effort, and it seems pretty spot on. Yeah, I think for me, people tell me all the time, like, oh, you're making it so complicated. Just go out there and run by feel. But like, there are so many times where my running by feel is completely off. And so I just like to have that reminder. And it's an expensive investment kind of like upfront, but I've had mine for like, I don't know how many years, but several years. And I wear it on every single run. There's been maybe 5 times in the last maybe 700, 800 runs that I haven't had it. I think that's a pretty ringing endorsement. They don't pay me. They've never sent me any merch. So, I just really like the product. Let's see. Pontius Pilot says, have you tried iFit? I bought a treadmill last year on Black Friday that included a year subscription to it. It seems to really motivate me on the treadmill. I have not tried that before. I don't know. One of the things that my wife and I are trying to figure out is, can we somehow get a treadmill in here? There's a basement, but the ceiling is pretty low. And I think I might be able to run on it. But if we were to get a treadmill, I'd want it for like my mother-in-law and my father-in-law to be able to use it too. So we're still trying to work that out. And so you bought a treadmill and it comes with a subscription. That's the kind of thing that I think that I don't know that I would like, but I don't know. Maybe my father-in-law would want it, or my mother-in-law, or maybe my wife. I'm not sure. Scotty B says, as I was running yesterday, I thought, what was your first running shoe? Mine were Asics T2D2N. Not purchased for running, but used for my first 5Ks. I'm trying to think. My first running shoes were Asics as well, but this would have been when I was in the 7th grade, which would have been like 1992 or so. So I don't even know what that would be. I mean, that was before. This would have been before like Kayanos were even around, so a long time ago. All right. Christian Gurndike says, you should bring your wife on someday as a guest. I would like to. I think she would really be uncomfortable with it. And she also is working during that time. So that makes it a little bit inconvenient. But, the long time ago, I had this idea for kind of like a podcast, not a podcast, but maybe like an interview series or something like that we would do together. And it's not that different than kind of like what I've never listened to it, but what I think that like Casey Neistat does with his wife, Candace, it's very similar to the idea. Idea was kind of similar to what Seth does with True Love. But to be honest, the actual like kind of not inspiration, but the I guess the spark of inspiration for it was I was watching a lot of John and Kate Plus 8, which was like a show that I kind of really related to because then like Asian dude married to a blonde lady. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, at least they look like us. So let's watch this. And, before it got crazy, the show was entertaining. And they would always sit on that couch and kind of like talk and reflect about like their parenting. And I was like, I really want to do that because I feel like once you're in parenting, it just everything's just like gone in a flash, and it's just really easy to forget like what was so immersive and important at the time. It doesn't even register as like a memory, and I wanted a way to be able to for us to like periodically sit down and reflect on what's going on, kind of not in a interview form, but more in a confessional form. I used to watch a lot of Real World, right? So like in the confessional kind of space. So that's kind of like what I've always wanted to do. But we've never done that. We've never been able to sit down. A lot of times we're just like tag teaming the parenting and like family responsibilities, so like during the day right now, for example, I get a lot of help from grandma and grandpa during the day, but I'm trying to make sure my daughter's doing her virtual school. I'm with my preschooler during the day as well. And then I do the live stream. And then after that, I usually make dinner, or my mother-in-law makes dinner, one of the two of us. And then like after dinner, then my wife is done with work, and then she spends time with the kids, and I will start working on videos and stuff. So it's like, there's never, I guess you have to make the time, and we never made the time, but like, that's kind of like what I'd like to do. But I really don't think she'd want to be on here. I could ask her, but she does not want to be on the live stream. Let's see. Amit Singh, Memi says, what's your 5K PR? Like, technically, I think it's like 1948 on a chip time. But I did a 5K time trial a little while ago, and it was 1941, something like that. A modest improvement. So high 19s, or solid mid 19s maybe. But yeah. So that's where I'm at. All right. Dr. Funk says, does Black Friday generally have good deals on daily trainers? I'm hoping the Ride 13 goes on sale so I can snag a pair. Here's the thing. Black Friday has typically not been that interesting for runners. And I think that's a really big missed opportunity. Because for running shoes, like at least in the Northern Hemisphere, by the time you get to like Thanksgiving, that's when like it's a big lull between Thanksgiving and like New Year's is probably like the next time when a lot of shoes get bought, right? So I just feel like it could be a good time to like offload something that you have a lot of. Not to say that like the Ride 13 is a shoe that needs to be offloaded because it's bad. In fact, it's a shoe that I really enjoy. But I don't know. Hopefully there'll be more deals on that. Or maybe like running shoe companies are like, we don't need to discount the shoes because we still sell out. But maybe they need to take the Adidas approach and make a boatload of shoes and then just discount them and sell as many as they can. I don't know. But I've tried making like Black Friday deal videos before for runners, and sometimes a lot of times it's a stretch. But what I'm hoping for this year is that because it's been a really weird year, that there will be some deals on shoes. I suspect there'll be a lot of deals on watches. That's where I think there'll be a lot of deals. That's my suspicion. I don't know. I don't have any information on it, but that is my suspicion slash hope. I'd love to be able to make like a really great Black Friday deal video that comes out like on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, like the day before Thanksgiving. But we'll see. I'll scour the different deals that are available and see if I can make one. Martha says Running Warehouse did have a great Black Friday discount on the Adizero Pro, but only for the men's, not the women's. Oh, that's really weird. It's disappointing. D-Riv says just got an Apple Watch, not really sure what app to run with, looking to run a half marathon by spring. I would look at iRun Smooth 26.2 or Work Outdoors. Those are two great apps that you can do a lot of customizations with. They don't have like workouts and stuff to help you plan like your training, but if you're looking for a plan, Hal Higdon, and if you've never like done a training plan before, Hal Higdon, HALHIDDON, creates tons of plans that are available for free to use. And then I think there is an iPhone Hal Higdon app that I think you might have to be a subscriber to gain access to like some of the like the plan features, because then I think it'll like, I don't know if it talks to you during the workout, but he does have like more advanced features. I don't know if there's Apple Watch integration as well, but I could be wrong on that one. All right. Yeah, Ben White says maybe now running has become more popular, there will be more deals. Yeah, I think so. You know what would be interesting is like what did the New Year's resolutions like commercials and ads look like? Because there's always like gyms put out ads and like Weight Watchers and stuff, like all the diet stuff kind of goes crazy, at the end of the calendar year for New Year's resolution time. What is that going to look like? Is that going to be a real, like an even bigger mess than usual? I don't know. Oh, Jeff Elliott says some of the Hal Higdon plans are now AI driven and will automatically adjust based on your runs. Oh, that's amazing. I didn't know that. I listened to a really great interview of Hal Higdon. I remember the place. It was when I was running in Phoenix, those days that I kept getting lost. But I don't remember who interviewed him. But he was talking about how it's one of his sons that is really pushing him forward on the technology part. And he's just like, I don't know the technology, but I trust you and I know you know the technology, so I'll let you do that. I'll write the plans and, fill in the information and kind of construct any of the data points that we need. But, he doesn't really do a lot with the technology. But that's how I learned that there's like an app, and there might be even an Apple Watch app from that. That was like 6 months ago. No, early March, right before everything closed down. So like 8 months ago. Oh, yeah. Let's see. All right. I think Fibonacci has one more, and we'll end with this one. It says, I hope for some trail running poles on sale. Yeah, I've never had a need for trail running poles, but I know some people need them. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Reels on Instagram about trail running poles. So I don't know. Do they go on sale? But he says, on the other hand, I could really use or need the Forerunner 945 for my ultras. The 945, at least on Amazon, is I think the exact same price right now as the 745. So because I've been kind of keeping an eye on that one, I've been thinking about picking up a 945, and because then it has maps, right? And I can use maps since I get lost a lot. So yeah, very cool. All right. I think that's a good place to leave it for today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Tomorrow I'm going to do a video about running in the ride. We were talking about the Ride 13 a lot already today. I'm going to do a video about that and if I feel like I can run in them again. So that'll be tomorrow morning. And then be Monday mukbang. What are we going to eat tomorrow? I think I'm going to, should I do more chews? Or I have some granola bars. I'll figure it out. It'll be running related, I think, depending on which one I pick. But we'll have something. We'll eat some food and we'll have another live stream. Hope you guys tune in tomorrow, same time, 3 p.m. Central Time. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thank you.